Hey, it's 7:45, so we'll get the meeting started here. We are both online and in person, and we are at the Caldwell Veterans Memorial Hall this month. And if you are new to our group or haven't been with us for a while, now that we're meeting back in person again, I am going to move the meeting around the valley to different places so that we can get to know the different organizations and what they have to offer. So if you want to host a Joining Forces meeting, just let me know and we'll make it happen. So we are going to start with the members here at the Caldwell Veterans Memorial Hall. I'll introduce Randy Jensen, and he can introduce anybody else that he would like, and tell us a little bit about the hall, and tell us a little bit about the history, because I think it's great how this all came together.
Well, thank you for approaching us and asking us to host this. It was great. Yeah, the hall, we're approximately, off the top of my head, we're approximately 7 years old. This was a Carnegie Library, and it is Carnegie Library, built by Dale Carnegie, not Dale Carnegie, his first name, but Mr. Carnegie. And the city purchased this building approximately 7 years ago for $350,000. And then a group of veterans came and they tore it apart and put it back together. We have approximately, counting the purchase price of the building, there's about $2 million worth in this building. And right now we house the VFW, the American Legion, the DAV, and the Women's Veteran Network, and also the Marine Corps League. And we do some rentals. We have, but we have curtailed them because we found that our building wasn't being respected the way we wanted it to be. So we cut those back. But we do have life celebrations. We're going to have one next week. All our life celebrations for veterans are free at no charge. They just come, and it's really very tender to see how they react. So that's nice. And I guess that's about it. I have two other friends, board members here with me, and I'll let them speak. Kelly?
My name's Kelly Powell. I'm the executive chair for the Caldwell Veterans Hall and Caldwell Veterans Council. And just to add to it, we're also got some programs going on here, like Guitar for Vets. We're in the process of setting up. It's a national program for getting veterans with PTSD involved in music. Kick that off. We've got a $3,000 Taylor guitar for anybody who wants to buy a raffle ticket. That's my fun. We also have some veteran counseling services going on here. We have the one for the Guard, which is paid for the next 10-year grants coming in. And then we also have Dave from DAV and over the rainbow.
They'll get it beyond the yellow ribbon.
Beyond the yellow ribbon, that's what I was. Oh, wow, let's get that.
Yeah, Dorothy, wake up.
We'll close the doors so that won't have the outside traffic.
On top of all that, we host everything from Boy Scouts here to Cub Scouts, AA meetings, PTSD groups. We do yoga for vets in this building also. It's awesome, by the way. And other than that, I'm sure we do more. I just can't think of it all.
And you have a Idaho Division of Veteran Services service officer here.
Full-time service officer here. People don't have to go to Boise. Handles everything in the west end of this valley. All you get is make an appointment with Chief Kelly, and she'll take care of your needs.
Yeah.
We were doing a stand down here. Of course, last year that kind of got fixed, and don't know when we're going to have the next one, but we've been getting supplies and still passing them out. So we picked up the last load of supplies back in, well, when there was ice on the ground. February. And I understand from what Randy was telling me, it's all stored at his house. It's starting to get low. But we get everything from sleeping bags to clothes to hydration packs. We keep bags full of food and stuff downstairs. If somebody's hungry, we take care of them. There's approximately 6,000 homeless vets between Boise and Ontario. They're in camps. A lot of people don't know where the camps are, but they're out there. And there's only about 1,200 vets, so there are needs out there. We try to meet as many as we
That's great. Be sure to make sure we all speak loud enough. Are you guys able to hear us just fine? Okay.
I'm Jeff Davis. I'm on board here almost 3 years now. My primary function here is to sell raffle tickets. We do a lot of these raffles, you know, because it does, what's it cost, about $50,000 a year to keep this all going. We lost all our fundraisers except for the raffles. That's the only thing that the money is coming in, plus some donations, you know. Meet a lot of veterans out there. A lot of people out there don't know we exist. So we throw them all our cards, you know, and say, come on down. It helps. We do, sheriff's inmate labor comes in here, and we have them fluff and buff the veterans hall here, inside and out. We get community service workers in here that are referred to us from Mark Navarrete, the guy in charge of the community service. So they come in here. They'd rather come in here than go pick up stuff on the freeway, I guarantee you. You know, because the sheriff's inmate loves to come here because they get free Domino's pizza. You know, we serve them lunch. They do a good job here, you know, and it, some of those people that come in on those crews are veterans, you know. Didn't know this place existed, now you do. So hopefully, you know, it will implement more veterans into the hall here. We meet a lot of people that get out there and spread the word. We have been giving out thousands and thousands of food, tons of the military surplus clothing, like he said, you know. But right now, 105 is hard to get one a sleep bag. But the number one requested item is socks. They love their socks. That's about it for me. I'll let Terry take over.
And by the way, Terry is the guy, this is his brainchild, this whole building, the organization itself. He's the one that started.
I'm Terry Harrell. Been on the board since the conception back in June of 2013. And proud of where the building is, the amount of people that we affect and touch, the growing community involvement and service here. It's awesome this group is here, and I think that will help bring attention to the potential of what we do here and expand that to meet the needs. I mean, what we did when we opened the doors in May of 2018, after we got the building finished, what we're doing now is night and day different, and it needs to be. I mean, meet the needs of our veterans and our families, and the community as a whole needs to look different. It needs to be different. It needs to have the ability to expand and grow, and look forward to doing that. Really do. Thank you all for being here.
Yeah. Now, if a veterans group wants to have a meeting here or something like that, is there a charge for them to come in as long as it's a
Randy's the
veterans?
new chairman, but what our philosophy is, anything that will help our veterans and their family members is free. And that's why we do the raffles and the fundraisers, so that otherwise our veteran group would be in a fundraising mode all the time.
Right.
I mean, the cost of insurance and repairs and things. I mean, we've got somebody here almost constantly working on the HVAC stuff. We were kind of slow to build goods on, you know, what we have there, and that's expensive. So we try to do a lot of the fundraising, and because of COVID, the events that we used to hold all got canceled. So raffles, even though aren't as, you know, out in the public as big a deal, but it is a means of raising money. So that's what we'll do, and try to be able to leverage those kind of things, and a few sponsors. Hopefully we can get them back on board. So these kind of things are free.
And then Mindi, and then we also open our doors to like the Combat Motorcycle Association, the PAET chapter. They come here, and we're their home base right now. We have AA here, different Rotary clubs, and AA pays for rent we told him they didn't have to, but he pays. Everyone else, we do open our doors for them and things like that. And that's the one reason why fundraising is so important to us, because when we open our doors to the outside people, they come and use the building, that's what we want, but they don't leave money.
Right.
And we need to pay the bills, yes.
Exactly.
So that's what's going on here. Yes, ma'am.
Sounds good. And we're in the upstairs, very nice meeting area up here. You've got a meeting area downstairs also, don't you?
We have a dining room and a kitchen downstairs, and it can be for meetings or whatnot. And then we have 2 rental offices that we use for income, and then we have 3 service organization offices here, and then a shower too. Yeah.
Nice.
Homeless
Nice.
veterans.
Great. Does anybody online have any questions? None? Okay. Well, what we'll do is we'll go around the table and introduce yourself, let us know what organization you're with, and if you have any needs right now, any concerns out there in the community. I think things are a little bit different than they were in the past. We're seeing a lot of different issues and things. So if you can bring those to our attention, we may not have a solution today, but we may have somebody that can help us out with that. So I guess we'll just go around.
Okay, I'm Jim Neal, actually represent 2 veteran organizations. First one is Team River Runner. We help disabled veterans through paddling sports.
Oh.
Now, everybody thinks, oh, it's just a white bar. I'm afraid I can't do that. We have a new group called Eddy Lines, and that allows a veteran to use a sit on the top kayak, an inflatable kayak, all kinds of different kayaks. We have still water, so they're just floating down the simple river, like from Cascade to Colorado. We're doing that this weekend. We have chapters all over the United States. We have a very active Boise chapter. And if you want brochures, I have brochures on that. I also represent the Idaho Veterans Wellness Center. That's located in Boise, off of Vista, cross streets of Vista and Kootenai, or the Colonial Plaza, room 1222. We right now, we used to have, because of COVID, we've shut down a lot of things. We used to offer Tai Chi, yoga, gardening, and so on. Right now, what we're doing right now, we provide therapy through clay. So it helps the veterans like myself. I was a sufferer of PTSD. It has brought my stress level down from about 1 billion down to tolerable levels.
Do you have a wheel you throw pots on, or you just sculpture?
Just sculpture and coil.
Gotcha.
I built an oil lamp just the other day, and I have pictures if you want to see them. But we were trying to expand, if we could get help from getting a loan. We're paying the rent out of our own money. So, and clay's kind of expensive. It's not bad, it's $15 for 5 pounds of clay. But we're also trying to get into the Valor Point to teach the folks there how to do ceramics, but they can't pay us and we can't afford to extend it that way. So we're looking for a grant and get someone to help us with the grant. That's great. But we also do medical advocacy there. And what that means is if the veteran can't quite understand what the doctor's telling them, or they want us to explain what they're going through in kind of medical speak, so the doctor can kind of figure out what's going on with the veteran. We offer that service currently. Myself and Alex, just give us a call and we'll try to help. Right now, I'm trying to help a veteran get veterans compensation. He's an older gentleman, and he's instructed through the VSOs and stuff where the judge, Judge Court of Appeals at this point. So we like to help out anyway in those facets and give me a call. In the veterans, we have a phone number.
Okay, I'll send the information for that out in my email recap. I haven't been to the wellness center, but I've dealt with a lot of people that have gone through Teen River Runner, and it is an excellent program. A lot of people that don't think they can get out on the water, like you say, are able to, and it's really good for PTSD. A lot of
It gets you out of your head.
yep, and you're with a lot of people that are experiencing the same thing. And
But we do also whitewater too.
yeah.
Just in case they provide everything for the vet, down to gloves. If you're in winter, we use dry suits. They have dry suits for us. They have kayak handles, everything you would need for any aspect. Sit on the top kayaks, inflatable kayaks, hard shell kayaks, whatever we call them. Go down whitewater, but you can use hard shell kayaks on the eddy line. Right? We're doing something this weekend up on from Cascade down to Carbach.
Who furnishes your boats or your rafts or your kayaks and your paddleboards?
There's a national organization, they get grants, we get donations.
Okay, so your organization owns this equipment?
Yes,
Oh, good.
we have a trailer that hauls the kayaks. We just did a regional event in Deschutes, Oregon, and we had 50 veterans. And there was a church group came in and provided us breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and I kind of make that as like kings. But it's a great organization. We have brochures here for both, so give us a try.
Sounds great. Okay, Melissa,
Hi, my name is Melissa Wilkers, and I'm.
talk up a little bit. Sorry.
My name is Melissa Wilkers, and I'm just a mom that lost her son to a military suicide. And until my last dying breath, I'm going to be his voice and make a difference. So.
Camo's here.
Chief Kelly.
Let's see if anybody online can mute. I think we've got some back. There we go. Thanks. Do you have anything else you want to tell us about, Melissa? Anything going on?
Do you have the other one you said?
So I'm trying to start something that's You Never Stand Alone. I've been thinking for many years of what I can do to make a difference up until just recently. I lost a friend and a coworker to a suicide. She took her life. She's an ER nurse and a friend and a coworker. And so I really feel passionate about trying to help. I don't know what the answers are, but we're not talking about it, and that's not working. And so I want to do this big event, and a couple of us that have lost our children to suicide have been to services to help families. Just let them know that we're here if they need someone to talk to, because we do know what it feels like. I never tell someone I know what you feel like, because they don't. I know what it felt like to me. And we're almost 8 years out, and it sucks every day of our lives. My other two children lost their mom and dad that day. So we do things, I try to do snowflakes for military families that have lost to suicide, and I think it does more for them now than it does for me. Because, nobody wants their children to be forgotten or spouses. So I don't know what this event's going to look like. I'm hoping it's in October. I work at St. Luke's, so I'm hoping St. Luke's is going to partner. I hope I get booths set up that will, for veterans groups, for any group, because I think that every life matters and that we need to stand together and make a difference. I see it at the ER every day, and I'm working with them also for a peer-to-peer group. I'm also telling them, I've met with the CEO, Chris Roth, and said, we don't do enough as a sitter, because we strip them down, take everything from them, and the sitters sit there and stare at them. we have an opportunity to talk to these people and to make a difference. So I'm hoping, unfortunately having to lose somebody has caused this, but I'm not gonna stop. We've got to stop this because now I've been affected by suicide twice. And I keep looking at my phone like, what did I miss as we were texting each other? You know, I thought with my son, what if, could have I, should have I? You know, dealing with my own demons. I mean, I had to go get some help for my PTSD. So I'm strong, I'm confident, and I'm gonna be Tanner's voice and Carrie's too now, so.
Thanks, Alyssa. Okay, Keith.
Hi, my name's Keith Millar. I'm the Veterans Ministry Program Manager for the Boise Rescue Mission. I have, I run, right now, currently I have about 25 homeless veterans living on a veterans floor on the River of Life, downtown Boise. There's more veterans that are coming in every day. I've gotten emails last couple of days about more veterans coming in. I work with Reverend Bill Roscoe, trying to reach out into the community to see what resources are out there that I can use, and also using Boise Rescue Mission as a resource for other organizations to, you know, help move the veterans of the Treasure Valley forward. So we're doing really well. We've recently had a lot of people. A lot of things are moving forward. We're getting my floor back up. Before COVID hit, we had some partnerships that came in and removed flooring with the intent of rebuilding these rooms. And then COVID hit, and their organizations just shut them down. But I'm getting those rooms rebuilt back up so I can work with more veterans one-on-one. I have myself and a case manager that work full-time with the veterans, and then Reverend Roscoe has me reaching out into the community as well. So that's why I'm here.
Well, and the Boise Rescue Mission does a good job. Keith and I talk almost every day, it seems like, so.
At least weekly, yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, thank you. Lisa.
Yeah, so I'm Lisa Underwood with a program called Legacy Core. I'm kind of Terry and Randy. Caldwell Veteran, this is an amazing hall, so I just want to encourage you guys, if you haven't gotten to tour it, it's a beautiful building and beautiful people who run it, so thank you guys for letting us meet here. It's good to be here. So Legacy Core is a nonprofit, it's an AmeriCorps program, and we have a team of volunteers that serve elderly military-connected families. So we match a specific volunteer with a specific family, and they visit every week for anywhere from 2 to 4 hours. So it's a city volunteer. And the whole goal is just to provide companionship to an elderly military-connected individual that, like, you know, isn't driving anymore, just kind of stuck at home more than normal. With COVID, we've all seen isolation to huge degrees with all of ages. But it's a pretty powerful program. A lot of times these volunteers just become the dearest advocate for these families, and no personal care, it's just companionship, transportation help, getting them out of the house, helping them to live life. We just had a volunteer that got to take one of our Legacy Core clients' friends out to the Ride for Joy program, which was pretty awesome. We've taken them out on hikes, trips to Idaho City, Silver City. So we look for opportunities just to continue to provide life for elderly military-connected folks. And it also gives that family caregiver a break, who's often the one that's there 24/7. We have wives that are waiting at the door with their purse, you know, ready to dart out the door the moment our volunteer shows up. Like, sometimes that's the only time they have all week for themselves. So pretty awesome. Most of our volunteers are retired folks themselves, because it's a pretty hardy commitment. They all see about 3 families a week. So if you guys want to, if you know anybody that might be interested in volunteer, this is our big recruitment season. I have brochures here. And if you know families that need our services that could benefit, just somebody that could use a friend, just give us a call. So
I've got 3 mini donkeys that if your people ever wanted to come out and visit them, it sure brings a lot of joy.
Oh,
I will. Therapy donkeys, so
Sweet, Melissa.
I'll get you my information. They're more than welcome. That's why we got them, is to help. So
Great, thank you. A lot of what our volunteers do is we find out about things like this. We let the volunteers are kind of the conduits to our families of what's out there, like like the River Runner. I would love to get some of our Legacy Corps families connected, because it sounds like you can help, elderly folks would be invited to do something like that too. So yeah, pretty exciting, but thanks for letting us.
So I know originally the program was started to offer respite care, but if you have an elderly veteran that they're able to live on their own, but they are just lonely, you can help out with that too.
For sure. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. We come in a lot of times we're the first kind of organization that a family's connected with. So these are folks that are, they're still able to get out of the house, but they're just not, independent anymore. So definitely.
Okay, sounds great. Okay, behind the camera here, we have Tonya from Idaho Division of Veteran Services. She's our education program specialist. And what's going on over there, Tonya?
So we're a good resource for veterans who are trying to use their GI Bill if they have issues with payments or getting ready to use it or deciding which chapter to use if they're eligible for more than one. The VA is not so easy to communicate with.
That's right.
So we're a little friendlier. Our main job is to approve programs for veterans to use their GI Bill. So if you have a local school in mind and they are not approved, we can get them approved.
Great. And if a business has an apprenticeship program, you can approve those so that a veteran can use the GI Bill also.
Yep, OJTs and apprenticeships.
On the job training and apprenticeship. So I think that that's a really big area that a lot of people don't always consider that they can use their GI Bill on, but it helps out a lot. And a formal college environment isn't always the track that every veteran's going to go on. So it's good to have those and to know you can use your GI Bill on those.
It's also a great resource for the company to say that you, in their, application
Recruitment.
materials, that you have GI Bill use, because it increases your candidate pool, because they'll know that they'll be getting GI Bill money plus their pay from the company they're starting out.
Yeah, and what the veterans can do is they can use that GI Bill money for, they can use it for rent, and they get that money kind of as a stipend in addition to what the employer's paying them. So something that a lot of people don't know about. So, okay.
Hi, good morning. My name is Ellie. I'm going to move over here to this chair. And Mitzi, thanks for letting me be included in this.
Yeah.
And I help address the need for veterans who are hard of hearing, be able to talk and communicate on the phone easier. And I look at the mission statement on the wall here at the veterans, connection, education. The connection is big. And Melissa, I'm really sorry for the loss of your son and your coworker. Social isolation is miserable, and that's part of our mission, is to help people stay socially connected for a longer, happier, healthier life. And so we do this by providing federally funded captioning telephones. And I brought one, so I'm going to set it in the middle of the table. And it's federally funded. That means there's no cost at all, because it's a part of the Title IV of the Americans with Disabilities Act that provides, devices and assistive technology at no cost. So that's my mission for the state of Idaho. Even though we're a nationwide program, it's available to veterans and any American that's hard of hearing that needs captions to be able to communicate effectively. So I take care of the state of Idaho, and I go all around, work with veteran organizations. I'm the daughter of a veteran. My dad was in the Korean War, and so I'm a member of the Post of New Plymouth, the VFW Post. So that's the program in a nutshell.
That's great.
Ellie, can we get one of those for the hall?
You could put one for if there's someone here that's eligible, then yes, we can make it a live line.
Have you ever met a vet that wasn't hard of hearing?
Not that they admit.
Do those work with, do they work with mobile phones or just?
Yes, mobile, you can get the app on your iPhone or your Android or your iPad, a newer iPad. You can connect the phone not only to a landline or internet or your Bluetooth feature of your phone.
So these will connect, that phone will connect to a Bluetooth to the phone?
Yes, like if you have nothing, you know, other than a Bluetooth phone and you want this console for the house, then it'll pair to that and work that way. A lot of people don't have landlines, a lot of people don't have internet, you know, the cost is an issue. But in those cases, we'll work with them. If they have one or the other, we'll make it happen.
I was thinking maybe we could possibly tie that in with our telehealth, which we also have here.
Yes, if we can
A lot
register
of
it
guys
to,
have a hard time hearing on the telehealth monitors that the VA gives.
right. Anyone's able to, once it's registered to a user that's eligible, then anyone who's using the phone that's also eligible can use it. But if they just, hey, can I borrow your phone, and they don't have hearing loss, then we ask that they just turn the captions off. So we're not draining the fund for unnecessary use. So yeah, the FCC is who has a fund that reimburses us. So there's no cost to the user, that's fine.
An interesting thing is the office that does these is actually, most of them are here in Meridian.
Yeah.
The people that are
The
behind the scenes,
captioning
the
agents.
captioning agencies are here in Meridian.
Yeah, I worked as a captioning agent for 3 years. It's grueling, it's amazing, it's, you know, you hear the stories and the connections that happen. And then I wanted to be, I'm not too good behind a computer for 8 hours, so I wanted to get out in the community, and that's why I'm doing this, what I'm doing. So I've been with Caption Call for 6 years.
That's great.
My wife
We
did
have-
that for a while.
She did.
My wife did the caption for a while.
We have like 13, 14 other captioning facilities in the nation.
Or my dad's a B-29 pilot, so yeah, those are real quiet aircraft. So he lives in Reno, but they have something like that in Reno.
Yep, we're nationwide. There's someone in every state that can bring a phone to your person. And it's not just for veterans, I want to emphasize, it's for any American, but we have a special place in our heart for veterans. We help support the Honor Flight program too, just as an aside, if you've heard of that. The Honor Flight program helps fly them, aging veterans out to Washington to see the wall.
That's great. Does anybody online have any questions for Ellie about the caption call? Nobody? Okay.
I've got one more question. Where we have kind of a rotation, what we call duty officers here, that the one person doesn't have to work Monday through Friday, we break it up into 4-hour groups. So most all of them are veterans or their spouse that are helping out. So if I understand, this is for the individual. How difficult would it be? I mean, is there a way that we could get somebody to sponsor the cause? Put something in here so we add it so that whoever's here catching the phone can take advantage of that, because 99% of us
Are eligible.
and have some degree of hearing loss. I'm a little better because over the years I've gotten to where I usually face people, can read lips a little better and.
Yeah, right, that the visual cues that are missing over the phone make it harder. So yeah, there's a big fat button on here that if you go to make a call, and it prompts you that, do you want the captions on? You can push the button. If you don't want the captions on, then don't. So as long as we register it to an eligible user, that's a staff person here, or a permanent volunteer here, then it'll be registered to that person here, and then anyone is free to also use it if they are eligible. If not, if they're a volunteer that day and they do fine, they're not eligible, just turn the captions off. You can use the phone as a phone.
Ellie, what's the percentage of hearing loss that they look for on them?
FCC doesn't require any minimum audiogram. It's just because there's people with really mild hearing loss but still have what they call word discrimination, poor word. They hear you talking, they're just like, rah, rah, rah. It's mumbly. So no minimum. It's just that you identify that you have hearing loss. You don't need a certification form from a hearing provider, although we recommend you get a baseline. Get a baseline so you can track over time if it's getting worse or stable, but you don't FCC doesn't require any certified signed form.
So that's more voice recognition, it's not some word person typing that out.
Right, because some people are talking really fast and they're really upset and they're just going on and on and on. And there's, meatballs, that maybe. So they use Dragon. You ever heard of Dragon Naturally Speaks?
I used to see that.
Yeah, that's what we use. So they talk into the headset, it goes through the internet and boop, comes out. And then you might see color, the word change color. It means that a word came up wrong, my ship has come in and it's not what it showed. So you'll see that word, hopefully you'll see the word change to green.
That's a new phrase.
I know Dragon doesn't recognize Southern English either.
Yeah, that's a good point. Some people,
Guitar.
with their hearing loss, accents are hard, speech rate, talking really fast is hard, the static in the background, so we can help, weed some of that out. And if somebody's crying, laughing, coughing, we'll put that in parentheses so they know. Sometimes it's a big difference to hear, I love you, Grandpa, crying, and I love you, Grandpa. It changes the meaning.
Yeah.
So we put that in there to add, context and depth.
That's great.
Yeah,
Yeah, Jenna?
so you did say that an eligible person on staff or volunteer can get the phone, but then you also said eligible users. So do you mean that if, say, Grandpa Bob goes down there, does he have to be registered as a user in order to use this device at the Caldwell Veterans Memorial Hall?
No.
Okay.
Much like in someone's home, if they had a guest come over, if the guest is hard of hearing, then yes, they're eligible to use the phone. We just want one registered person, or if it's a couple in a home, then we will register the one and then make the other a secondary user. But no, people can use it that have hearing loss and need the captions. Those two are key. That's the only thing the FCC asks of us, is just only let those people use it.
Right. Okay.
They have to have a mic or they can just talk.
There's a speaker button on there, so Grandma and Grandpa can talk together to whoever, to the veteran.
Cool. Well, thank you.
Did that answer your question?
Thanks, Jenna. Well, I tell you what, I'm going to skip over to Kate McCloud, because I know that she might have to exit a little early for another meeting she has to go to. So, Kate?
Yeah, so I work for the state of Idaho Service Member and Family Support, which is our currently serving, we have focused on the Army, which is over 4,000 service members in the state, but we've joined with the air side, which is an additional 1,750. And then we also are bringing in the reservists because they don't have any support here either. But a misnomer is that once you retire, you're a veteran, but there's actually currently serving military members that are veterans. So we have 8 service members or specialists throughout the state that help these service members. We have them in Post Falls, Lewiston, Idaho Falls, Pocatello, Twin Falls, and then Caldwell and Boise. What we focus on is basically anything that can keep the service member ready to continue serving their nation, and then we help do a warm handoff when they get ready to retire. So we help them get ready for retirement, we do education, all those kind of things. But our biggest ones that we're focusing on now and that we're seeing a need for are housing for our currently serving members, childcare, which has been really difficult for them to find, and then as always, some of our biggest ones have been financial need and help with their benefits, to include their health and dental benefits. But most of us that are in this position, we're civilians, but we are either retired military, currently serving, or married to a service member that has retired. But we just try to be that liaison and give them the information that all these great programs do.
Do you help if the service member isn't currently in the state, but this is their permanent residence? Like if they're stationed elsewhere?
If they're, so we can connect them with the ones in their state where they're assigned. So we try to serve the ones that are assigned here. But you're correct, there are some that are assigned elsewhere and they're from here. And so we connect with those all over the country. And we can pass them off and do the warm handoff so we can give them the information. But yeah, we currently serve the ones that are here. We do have access to all of the information through different databases because it is nationwide.
Perfect.
Well, it's worldwide, honestly.
Great. Okay. Yeah, I think Kate and I were talking before the meeting started, and housing is a big issue for everybody, whether you're a veteran or military or not, but I'm running into more and more issues. So we're probably going to need to have a meeting about housing and bring all of our ideas together and see what we can do on that. So thanks for bringing that to the forefront again. So, okay.
Can you say the organization's name again?
So it's Service Member and Family Support. If you Google Idaho Military Division, we're linked with the currently serving, and you can find all of our services on there.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll send a link out too for that and things. So, and Beth Stanley with your group does an excellent job. They've got a Facebook page that is mainly for the members so that they can know what's going on, but anybody could join it that's interested in veterans issues. But I know I sent some stuff out yesterday, and before I had a chance to post it anywhere else.
Right to her.
Yeah, Beth had it.
She sent it to us, we sent it to her. She's our marketing coordinator, and she's fantastic.
Yeah, she does a great job getting the information out. I think there's a lot better communication within the Guard and Reserve now than there ever has been. They're doing a great job over there. So, hey.
I'm Marcene Taylor with VetCrew. Okay. We're a small organization. We try to fill gaps. So if someone comes to us with, we would like this, we kind of see how we can facilitate that either by, knowledge of someone that already is doing a program, or by trying to, create something. We currently have a fly fishing program. We have a state certified guide for fly fishing who is a combat Marine veteran who tried to commit suicide 3 times until he found fly fishing. He's incredible. He is absolutely incredible. So any veteran or veterans' families that would like to go fly fishing, we can facilitate that. And we also have a classic car restoration program, which that's kind of hit and miss, but it's more of like a peer group, right? Guys just getting together to work on a car. We're currently working on a 65 Chevy pickup. So we do that. It's right in Boise that we have that. We have this next Saturday, we're doing an event with a lunch, and then we have Dr. Brian Meyer, who is actually a clinical psychologist with the VA in Virginia, but he's doing a presentation on PTSD and a lot of things about survivor guilt, and not just how it affects the veterans, but how it affects their families as well. One of the things that we really try to concentrate on is a lot of veterans groups and veterans families stick together. And there are so many people in the community at large that don't know how to relate, but would love to help. And so that's a focus as well, is to not just have your own community, but to be part of the community at large. So we invite, anybody, anytime we do anything, we typically have people that have never even been around veterans come to help as well. So, and I think that helps open things up. We're on our 5th year now of partnering with Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation to send veterans hunting on a private ranch over out of Preston. And applications for that will open up in about 2 weeks. It's the week of Veterans Day, so November 8th this year. We're sending 4 women and 4 men is what and there's no cost to the veteran, but we go through a selection process so that we can see who it will actually benefit the most. And RMEF covers the cost of, they actually process the meat, so the veterans get the meat from the elk that they hunt. So, we run it out of my office in Boise, and we have the auto shop there, but I have a large conference room. So if that's something that anyone ever needs for meeting space, we're more than happy to help.
You got a card?
I have one for my business. I realized when I left this morning, I don't have any VetCrew cards, but I absolutely have cards that have my contact information on them. And then if anyone wants a flyer about the PTSD thing, I have those as well. Okay.
And I'll get Marcene's information out. Just kind of a joining forces story. I think a lot of you probably remember, it's been almost a month ago, I sent out an email about a Korean era war veteran that needed some help with his lawn, and I had a huge response on that. But Marcene contacted me, and she was just getting ready to go on vacation and couldn't help with the project. But that particular veteran didn't serve in Korea, but he was stationed in Germany during the Korean War. And Marcene's father was in the same situation, and she didn't know a lot about his service. So I've connected her and this veteran together so that they can share some stories and experiences and things. But again, that was one of those kind of behind the scenes joining forces stories that happens and stuff. So again, we're all kind of coming together, making a difference, and it's a very special connection for Marcene. And this particular veteran loves to have people come over and visit because he is kind of isolated. So that'll be great. So, okay, Andrea.
My name is Andrea Mayner. I am on the board of directors for Everyone for Veterans, and we have basically two programs. Essentially, for combat veterans that do not have dental care through the VA and do not have the money, we connect them with dentists all over the country who provide free dental care for them. It's really shocking to see how many combat veterans so desperately need dental care. It's actually a Washington corporation, but my husband and I are fairly new to Idaho, so now I'm trying to get the word out in Idaho. We also have a wingman program where I think it probably crosses a lot of what everybody else does, but we will provide help for any combat veteran that needs help. If they need a mattress, if they need food to feed their family, if they need an air conditioner, cribs, blankets, whatever they need, we will find a way to get them. As an example, we provided, through Costco. Costco provided gift certificates for food, and so we will provide that. So that's what we do, and I would love to hand out our brochures.
Hey, sounds great.
Question on that. When I was here about, this is for the combat there, this is the combat. But what about the combat support veterans that are back in the States or in Germany when treat all the combat veterans coming out of that? So we're not good enough.
Sorry?
We're not good enough for the veterans that were combat support. But we are stationed in Iraq, but yeah, that's battles every day.
That's a very good point.
35 to 100 veterans.
I'm going to pass, you know what, we have a board of directors meeting on Tuesday evening, and I'm going to pass that feedback along. It's a very good point.
Good point to add to that is for everybody who carries a rifle in the Army, it takes 10 people to support that one. Without those 10 people, like.
That's such great
Great
information that I'm going to pass along on Tuesday. Thank you very much.
So we were talking about supporting other veterans other than just combat veterans through like Andrea's program and things. And along those lines, another project that I want to get started through joining forces is, a lot of times when I've sent out these requests for help, I have people step up, donate money or services and things, but I would like to get a network of, say, for dental care, dentists around Idaho that are willing to donate services. And, we can't send every veteran to get free care, but I have had some veterans that are in dire need of dental care, and they might not fit this program and things, but if we had that network of, dentists, and then to a degree, I've got it for, some contractors for different issues, but I would like to start getting the word out so that anybody that has services of any sort like that that are willing to donate them, that, you know, maybe even if they say on a quarterly basis, or, you know, they'll donate once a year, that sort of thing. Through joining forces, I would like to get that started so that we have that, because I think we all run into those situations where somebody's in dire need and we don't know where to turn. And I like to say I've got 98% success rate when I do send out an email, but it would be nice to know that we have that network in our pocket and not have to send out an email if necessary. So, Randy.
And then I have a question. I've been in contact with a lady, she's with the Historical Society in Notice, and she wants to compile a list of all Notice residents that have been killed in the war as veterans, or active military. Does anyone have a suggestion besides the National Archives, and good luck to her? Because to me, I'm still new to this game, but it looks like a lot of research.
Yeah, National Archives is usually what we tell people. Unfortunately, there's not, even through the VA, there's not a good database for that information.
Okay, so we'll stick to that.
On the Idaho Military Museum and on Gallup Field, we have some.
Oh.
Since 9/11, now I think have
Okay.
a complete list of since 9/11.
Since 9/11, but they have a partial World War I period.
So does anybody online have anything they would like to share with us about your organization? Jenna?
I don't have anything with the organizations. I'm with Blue Star Moms. Everyone, I think most everyone knows, we send care packages to military members who are deployed. But we also support veterans in our community, and part of that, I volunteer. I'm also a VFW auxiliary, but I also volunteer down at the VFW. And I've come across some interesting things, and I think one of them I was hoping to reach out today and see. We have someone who has located in a shed that was sold at auction, I believe, a commemorative flag and a bronze star and Purple Heart. And we're trying to locate this member's nearest kin. And the last location we had, they had actually moved. They lived in Emmett, and they sold their house and they're gone. Is there anyone or any resources that would at least take to me, you know, we want to, that bronze star and that Purple Heart, we don't want them to just go, you know, in the trash or something. We want something somewhere to be able to put this in commemoration of this individual. If anyone has any suggestions, if they could, you know, email myself or Mitzi, and I'm sure you would get that to me, we would be grateful.
Yeah, send us the information to the hall here. Okay, and let us try to find them for you. We've been pretty good and pretty successful with that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
get that information to me, Jenna, and I'll make sure they get it, and we'll see if we can make that connection.
Okay, thank you so much. We appreciate everything everyone does.
Okay. Mike, any updates with Veterans Court?
Yes, absolutely. First off, I just thank you, Mitzi, for giving me the opportunity to share with everybody what we do with the Veterans Treatment Court. My name is Mike Hubbard. I'm a retired first sergeant from the Army. Came out here a couple years ago, and I quickly found out that retirement was overrated. And I chanced upon an opportunity to work with the Veterans Treatment Court. And it's a program where, in conjunction with the VA and several other service organizations, we find veterans that are struggling with drug addiction, alcohol addiction, service-related PTSD, and other injuries, right? And so when they get involved with the law in a negative way, just like everybody else in society, at a certain point, you go to jail. And our mission is to get them out of that situation and get them the treatment they need to get them back in the society as functioning members. Our goal is to get them back to a happy and successful, vibrant life. And there's a lot of key players into that. It's the court system, the Idaho Division of Veteran Services, the VA, the Rescue Mission. I just want to throw out a shout out to Keith. A lot of our veterans are being housed there, and they're treated with dignity and respect over there. For a lot of them, for the first time in a long time since they've been out of the service. So thanks, Keith, for all that you guys do, and Bill Roscoe, if you could mention that, I thank him as well. But we work with them in an in-depth fashion. We hold them accountable for any law violations that they may have accrued in their travel, so to speak. But we get them treatment, and that includes individual counseling, group counseling sessions, weekly or daily urinalysis checks, and we keep them in a very structured environment to actually treat the addiction, help them move forward, while simultaneously holding them accountable for any kind of law violations they have. And we move them forward in a 4-phase program. It takes about anywhere between 18 months and 24 months to get somebody through the program. And they learn coping mechanism skills, things that might trigger their addictions again, and how to not go down that path to darkness again. And in talking to some of our veterans, I quickly found out, I learned a lot from them, that, you know, due to their service and other things that have happened in their lives, they really travel, a lot of our veterans, down a really dark path. And getting them out of the situation, it's pretty rewarding. I have mentors. I coordinate those. Every veteran that comes through our program, I line them up with a veteran mentor, and I get them from the community, the VFW, the American Legion, other organizations, as well as other veterans that have recovered from their situation. And it works pretty well. We move them forward. It's challenging at sometimes. Some people kind of fight the system a little bit because they're not used to being held accountable after so many years, but it's a way to move them forward. And so in conjunction with the, MITSE and everybody else that's involved in this, it's really rewarding to see our veterans recover. We're down to about 38 veterans in the Veterans Treatment Court. We have a capacity of 50. But because of the virus and all the shutdowns that we've had, we have not been able to get into the jails to actually locate veterans that need our assistance. And a lot of them are unaware that we're even out here trying to help them out. So that's about ready to change. We were supposed to be able to get back into the jails to start locating our veterans that are in the county jail last week, but they pushed it off to the 15th. So sometime next week, we're going to be able to get back into the jails and start getting some of our veterans back out of there and moving them forward in a positive way. Does anyone have any questions? I know I just ran through that really quick off the top of my head, but if anyone has any questions, I can answer them.
Now, a veteran eligible for Veterans Treatment Court if it's not a felony. Is that correct?
No, they can have felonies and be in the Veterans Treatment Court. That's mostly our felons. For example, somebody that has a DUI with an accident that has caused an injury or something of that nature.
Okay. So, are there any disqualifications as far as felonies go, or
we look really hard at like domestic violence. We're not too keen on having someone that has like a violent nature, but they do take case by case looks at everybody that we consider. Sex crimes, things like that, child abuse, we're really not interested in. That's something above and beyond our ability to help that veteran out. That's something else in the justice system. Someone else in the justice system would have to deal with that. But mostly they're drug, alcohol related issues. a lot of our veterans they have pretty bad injuries from their service, and a lot of the times that's what led them down the path that they're in. A lot of them, and you, all of you in this meeting probably understand that or realize that a lot of veterans, they qualify for benefits that they don't even think they deserve. I mean, horrible injuries that they think, well, you know what, I still have a heartbeat, I can still walk, so you know, I might not. I don't want to take any veterans benefits away from somebody that's hurt worse than me. Well, I can tell you, and the Idaho Division of Veteran Services helped us out just a while ago. Got one of our veterans back $220,000 in back pay from his injuries that he didn't think he was worthy about. He didn't think he was worthy to have. And we're making progress with getting people lined up with the VA, getting them treatment for their injuries, mental health issues, getting them the medications that they need that they don't think they have even qualified for. If I had one critique that I would say about all the services is I don't think that they do a very well job of reintegrating veterans back into society. When they're done, they put them out with their injuries. They've lost their brotherhood, they've lost their family, so to speak, right? We all know the camaraderie that we have with our fellow service members, and then we're out of the service. We don't have that anymore. We're back in a bad situation, especially now we're socially isolated. And so that takes a toll on people, especially if they've, had several deployments. And we look at that, and I don't want to drag this on too long, but I've personally seen veterans that have had 4, 5, 6, 7 deployments overseas in a combat zone, and through all of them, honorable service until the last one, and something happened to them. It made them snap, they got hurt, they got injured, they maybe saw something that me and you can't comprehend sitting around in this meeting. And so they turned to alcohol, drugs, or other stimulants to try to self-medicate themselves. And that's where the services say, you know what, we can't use you anymore. They put them out with not a lot of treatment. And so I know the VA looks at that too, and the Idaho Division of Veteran Services looks at that. Well, this guy had 5, 6, 7 deployments. What happened on the honorably served, came back, went back again. All of a sudden now he's got a problem. Why wasn't he helped before he got put out? And that's one of the things that, if I was king for a day, I'd take a real hard look at every veteran that's coming out, every single one of them, because a lot of injuries are hidden. You can't see what's going on in someone's mind, even if they don't have any, physical injuries that you can see. There's a lot of things that go on in someone's head that they bring home, and it's hard for them to cope with. So that's, I'll get off my soapbox on that, but if anyone has any questions, please ask.
Can I get you to send that to somebody in email, because all the veterans on this end of the table, we don't hear very good, and Ellie didn't have her phone set up.
I'll send out a video link. So
that get the stuff that's available here at the hall, so for context, back to you.
Sounds good.
I just love that when I'm yapping away for half an hour and no one hears what I'm saying.
Okay. Well, I think what Mike does is truly, is the motto, no man left behind. So we appreciate everything you're doing over there. Mindi Anderson, Idaho Veterans Chamber of Commerce.
Hi, good morning. One of the things that we're struggling with right now with the chamber is we're really trying to figure out how to make space in our chamber for family and wellness. And one of the things that we want to do is create a survey and send it out to this group that can help us better understand how we can create the collaboration space in the family and wellness area. Just because, as I've been sitting here this morning and listening to everybody talking about the awesome things that you're doing, and this is something that we've already known, we do really well in the veteran space and the family and wellness, but how can we collaborate together and truly join forces and try to help solve problems like what Mike was mentioning, we have some really great opportunities that are coming up. We are going to be working with the Workforce Development Council in the state of Idaho, and we're going to be getting notification that when somebody designates when they leave the military and they're coming back to Idaho, we're going to get their information to be able to reach out to them and ask them, what do you need? Do you need housing? Do you need a job? Do you want to go back to school? So we're really excited about that, and where we're going to lean heavily on navigating these people to the right resources is primarily to this group of people. And so, we're trying to figure out, we're doing really well in our other 4 areas, but that family and wellness space is something Mitzi and I have really gone back and forth on. How do we create the collaboration? We do the monthly meetings, and this is awesome and this is wonderful, but how do we actually really get to solving problems and coming up with solutions where we can have more synergy and collaboration that's happening between the joining forces meetings, so that we can help support each other and understand what each other does and be able to navigate. Because as I mentioned last month, our services is to navigate people to the resources that you all provide. We don't intend to duplicate anybody's programs. We don't intend to provide the same resources that you do, but we need to figure out where those resources are at. So it'll be a very short survey that I'll send out in the coming weeks to Mitzi to get out to you. And if you could take some time to just better understand, how can we in the family and wellness space, how can we better collaborate together? Because we will have monthly meetings for family and wellness. We will have a committee. We will have a chair that will be designated to help support. And we don't have seats identified. And that's where I'm having a struggle with identifying seats, because there's just so many really great resources. So I think our Family and Wellness Committee is going to look a little bit different than what our other committees are looking like. And I just ask if you want to be part of that collaboration space in bringing all these resources together and coming up with solutions and pathways where we can create referral partnerships and networks where we can refer services to people. Because I know, one person that comes to your organization may need just your services specifically, and that's why they landed on your doorstep. But we also know holistically there's also other things that they may need. And so how do we connect the dots to be able to get them holistically taken care of, regardless of why they showed up on your doorstep to receive services? Thanks, Mitzi.
Thank you. The membership to the Idaho Veterans Chamber of Commerce is free to veterans organizations, to veterans. They do have paid memberships for non-veterans or businesses that are non-veteran related that would like to sponsor a membership and things. And so I'll send that information out too. But really what Mindi is doing with the Veterans Chamber of Commerce is, I like to say, kind of joining forces on steroids. Just trying to bring us all together, and they're going to have navigators to help people get out to your resources and things. So I encourage everybody to join the chamber, and I'll get that information out. So does anybody else have any comments online before we sign off this morning?
Question.
We have a question here.
For the Chamber of Commerce, for us that are struggling, trying, using our own money to support veterans on these different organizations, does the Chamber support anything like that?
He's asking if the Chamber has financial support for any other organizations. Which, you want to answer that, Mindi, or would you like me to answer it?
So I will say that we don't currently, but we will. That's part of what we want to have as our future vision, is being able to provide funding for different programs and resources and such. We have some pretty significant grants that we are qualifying for right now at the federal level. And our hope is that we can secure grants that can then fund and help support some of these other veteran resource organizations. So the answer is currently no, but in the future, that would be our goal.
Okay, thank you. Somebody else have a question over here? Randy?
Yes, we have two folks here that'd like to talk about an event that's going to be happening in July. Joseph, Jeff, you want to talk about our July event, please?
I didn't know this was a hot seat.
Speak up so everybody can hear you.
Joe and I, we know, I don't know, what, about 3 years?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe more. We go to a PTSD group therapy at the CVOC, Caldwell Veterans Clinic here, Franklin. We got shut down, so we don't have a point of contact really per se, or we can't go in. You might be able to do one-on-one or telehealth, which I've done and haven't had much success with that, but still trying to work bugs out of the system here as far as I know. But anyway, we're gonna put together a barbecue dinner here for our group. There's about 20 of us, sometimes 25, you know. You do pretty good. Talking with my doctor here the other day, she wants to get our group back together again, which is gonna be a godsend, you know. Get in there and hash out all our crap for the last 2 years. And I mean, she's gonna just freak out when she hears all of our war stories from the COVID. With Joe here, good person, he is into our guitars for vets here. He can play a guitar. He's gonna teach me how to play Country Boy Can't Survive.
If I may, I think, number one, Randy, thank you for inviting me. And thank you for, sorry I was late, I ran into 2 trains out of the country. You know, one of the biggest issues for us veterans that rely upon these support groups is they haven't been available for a long time. And I think everybody here at the table is aware that veteran suicide has more than doubled since the pandemic started. So I you know, Randy has talked to me about, you know, can we have a group down here? And the obstacle to that at this point is we don't have a facilitator. We can't have the blind meeting the blind where we have, you know, us get together and, you know, there's Vietnam vets with anger problems. There's, you know, like I have a TBI. So, the Randy guys have been very gracious about offering us a space. We don't have a facilitator. So I don't know who we approach to get that, you know. But that would be something, I've worked with Randy a little bit about trying to facilitate getting some of the homeless vets that are on drugs and alcohol and PTSD and mental illness some services. I did that in Hawaii for a number of years. And, you know, that's something it's difficult to do. It needs manpower, you know. It's not something you should do by yourself on the field work. So I have a couple concerns. One is that maybe somebody knows a facilitator that could come in once a week. And, you know, the people that aren't willing to get to the VA or cannot go, I know I've had a terrible time with the phone appointments and everything. It doesn't work. You know, the VA spent billions of dollars on their phone system, and it's not functional. You know, I have to drive to VA to get my prescription because I can't do it over there.
Well, I think through this group, we can come up with some resources and probably connect you with some people, so.
That would be nice, thank you.
We'll work on that.
Thank you.
I have Dan Ashley, I'm sure a lot of you know Dan. He and I are trying to set up a PTSD group therapy here, but since the COVID, you know, it's hard to get this out to people. Transportation is another issue for a lot of these veterans, you know. They can't drive or they're not supposed to drive.
Right.
But I do have a point of contact with that. I haven't heard from Dan in a while.
Okay.
But he does come down here one-on-one to talk with you, you know.
Okay.
That dinner or lunch is going to be on the 24th of July So anybody who wants to try to get another PTSD group going, let us know ahead of time, so we don't need deals to fix.
Yeah, if you're
It's not gonna
interested,
cost them anything other than showing up.
yeah, if you're interested, have someone contact us with the person. So this isn't for extended family, it's not for your brother and uncle to bring. We don't need to be on read. We don't have a lot of room, we don't have, and we want it a little bit semi-private. So if you know someone that can benefit from this, please contact the hall and pass their name on to Jeff, Joe, or I. We'll go from there.
Okay, we'll get the word out. Thank you, everyone, for joining us online today, and I'll get all the information out for everybody that spoke today. Thanks for joining us.